Eep. Hello! We are live again. For the last time forever because I will die. No, just kidding. It's just that next week I won't be able to stream because I will be busy. Staying at my parents' house again. Citizen Pisser! Hello, Vex! Alright. Hi, Vex. How are you doing? EP. Vex the Eeper, when are you not sleeping, huh, Vex? You're always sleeping. Oh boy, we're almost done with this game, and we're on a time limit now, cause we have something to do. We have to save the eye before it fucking explodes. Alright. So, what we're gonna do is that we're gonna try saving the eye instead of evacuating it. Alright, let's see. Peek, what do you want me to do? What's the strategy? Okay. Definitely do that. Alright, we're doing this. Peek beckons you over the wide mess table where they have set up a terminal. The hours of blurry eye work have left you both drained, and Peek looks ready to collapse. You slide onto the curved couch beside them, something dark and malevolent filling their screen like an oil stain. Another protocol. Not quite. Peek's eyes seem to glitter in the screen light. This isn't what you think, Sleeper. Not by a long shot. You look again at the screen, leaning close to the dock, curved shapes to see texture. You see whirls and currents like a river, that flow unlike the Shadow Protocol's dark tangle. You know exactly what this is. You swim in this river, almost drowning in its shifting flow. It is a Garner's chorus, dark cloud which blankets the Greenway's networks, the bioorganic morass of a malfunctioning protocol grown vast and strange. Gardener? Peek glances at you. How do you... Have you met them? I have. Peek shakes their head. Incredible! Then perhaps you won't be surprised by what I am about to propose. Peek meets your eye. Everything I have tried to do to contain the Shadow Protocol has been a failure. It slips through any containment, absorbs any countermeasure. That, fortunately, is an unavoidable fact. And yet, the eye still spins. The Shadow Protocol is being slowed, partially contained. It has spread across the station, as we have seen, but in reduced pockets. Fragments. So I started to look outside our test cases. Outside of these fragments we have been poking and prodding in our lab. And look what I found! Peek taps a key on the terminal, and you realize the screen is showing a recording of the data flow inside the eye's networks, sampled from hundreds of points around the Greenway. EP. You watch as a subtle shift occurs at the edge of the flowing dark curve that blankets the Greenway. Something spreading like an ink stain. Somehow darker than black it bleeds across. Shadow Protocol. Now watch. Peek eagerly points at the screen. You see something strange. A fizzing at the end of the shadow. Sparking. Then it's gone. And beneath, for a moment, a second, you see into the networks of the Greenway. You are reminded of an image you had forgotten. Pulling a plant from its pot and seeing a bone wire root ball where you expected to see dark soil. The white connections rife like worms. And then it is gone. Black flow closing up as quickly as it opened. What did you see? Hope, Peek sighs. wrapped up in something terrible. Think back to remaining the gardener, that sense of something old and world, and inhuman to its core. Peak excitedly starts to explain. This is the only chance we have, the only countermeasure we have seen. The moment it opened, I detected something. A centralized intelligence with a local ID gardener. This protocol, this system, whatever it is, can protect its network from the Shadow Protocol. But if it stays in the Greenway, the eye will still fall. The station systems are too exposed, too spread across the hub, the shipyards, the spokes. He glances away. The only way is to break it open. Spread the entity's network access it. Ban it somehow. Peak pauses. Be inside there, Peak. Peak pauses, trying to read your expression. This gardener. Help us? You try to remember what the strange being said to you. All you remember is the feeling of dissolving into that network. A mix of growth and decay. The ceaselessness of it. They protect the station? Simply dissolve it. I don't know. Peak stands up and walks away a little. They lean against the countertop, their head hanging low so that their long hair touches the work surface. Feel them breathing deeply. I don't know, Sleeper. They lift their head. I really don't know. You know as well as Peak that this is. You know it because over the past cycles you have run every simulation, every possibility you could think of, and still come up with nothing. You have stared a hole into your screen, and dreamt of that black shadow, creeping at the edges of your vision. Peak recognizes the look in your eyes, both in cocktail of resignation and anger. Let's say we do this. Peak begins, eyeing carefully. What do we need? They begin to answer their own question, thinking out loud. Suppose we need to do two things. Find a way to immediately control the garden spread. Then reconnect the Greenway. Peak starts pacing. The idea is coming quickly now. Trying to spread means preparing the station. Limit the garden's network to key systems. We don't want it taking everything. We just need to protect the station's core functionality. Then, we need to reconnect the Greenway, hook it back to the main line of the network. Those systems we prepared, they should connect, and garden will spread along the paths we prepared. At least, that is my theory, Peak grimaces. But if we don't prepare correctly, the garden might not spread, or it might spread to everything. Peak closed her eyes. And that, things might get worse. Not sure. Me neither, shrugs, exhausted. But unless you want to spend our final cycles in this room running simulations, that's all we got. Peak sits back at the terminal and brings up a map of the eye. Stational control at the hub, life support at the free spoke, power rotting at the half-an-age shipyards. They step at the map of each one, marking them in red. Then there's a central core. They understand it is somewhere on the rim. I need to find it. Ugh, air in my body. They push their hair out of their face. See the gardener in all these places, Peak pauses. But how are we going to do that? Wait. Peak smiles. Of course. The gardener needs plans to take care for. Is what their protocol dictates. It must have been part of the forming management system of the Eye, back when Solheim built it. We seek Greenway plans into those systems, and the gardener will seek them out. Protect them. Peak stares at the map on the Eye. It's a wild idea, but it could work. But... They pause. I wait into those systems. Haven't age, I have most of them locked down for safety purposes. I can't just walk in. Oh, a guy. Peak raises an eyebrow. The one in Haven't Age system team? Oh, Lem? Not Lem, Feng. That's the guy. Oh, if it's Feng, I'm gonna be happy. I haven't seen him in a while. Feng! Yes! You nod. After everything he dragged you through, you feel like Feng still owes you. Time to pay him a visit. Okay, well, Peak looks at you sideways. I guess we should pay him a visit. Either way. You both leave the ship, careful by the excitement of the plan, and an eagerness to not look at the details too closely. You push any lingering questions to the back of your mind. Time to head to Fang's Bay. Let's go, we're going to see Fang again! Alright, no, that's not here. Where is... Ah, there you go. Ah. Damn, I can't believe Vex is fucking dead. That's it! No more wasting time. Peak sighs and pulls out a slate. They crack open a box on the side of the bay shutter and wire the slate to what's inside. Maybe your friend has a half-an-age passcard or something inside. Peak shoots you a glance. Something they wouldn't mind if we borrow. Peak doesn't look up. We've had good time to wait, they sigh. Coming here was a mistake. For a few tense moments, the shutter jerks and begins grinding open. The noise making him jump. Let's get inside. He glances around. Quickly! Let me alone, I'm playing Project Zomboid. No, clearly you're fucking dead. How's the zombie game going, Vex? Are you winning, son? You slip into the dark of the bay, punctuated by the blinking lights of Feng's pile of servers, somehow even more disordered than before. You're making your character, yay. Peak makes a beeline for the desk at the center, gathered with tools and components. They flick on a lamp and stare at the mess. Are you sure this person can help us? Yes. You're interrupted by the sound of footsteps from the entrance. Someone has come in behind you. Peak freezes. There he is! There's my man! There's my man! Shit, I missed this guy! I could swear I closed the shutter when I left. Fang leans on a stack of servers near the entrance. Must be getting forgetful. He grins at you. Fang! That very same! Fang smiles. Fang raises an eyebrow. Fuck you come rob an old friend. Is that the plan? Need your help. Fang nods. You're here about the flux. Peak nods, and he's suddenly giving Fang their full attention. Fang smiles, pleased with himself. I guessed as much. I saw changes in the old system architecture almost immediately. Some of them have been running since the first days of the station, and so when I saw new patterns, shifts in logic, I knew something was ahead. By cycles, I've been doing a total inventory of the core systems. The hub to the rim, he grins. I surprised myself, to be honest. I didn't think I had it in me. Peak seems unamused. And what did you find? Fang sighs. That's the thing. There's something. All twisted up in the systems and protocols, but every time I look at it, It disappears, Peak finishes. Feng turns to you. They always do that? Peak ignores him. It's a shadow protocol. It masks itself somehow, bending into the gaps between the systems. In a negative space. It is slowly filling every system in the station, slowly taking over. We need to stop it. You need to grant us access to all the core systems of the station. Rotational control, life support. Feng holds her hand. Whoa, slow down there. How do I know your name? Feng shakes his head. You're asking for the keys to the castle? Can't be done. You can trust Peak. Feng pauses and glances between the both of you. How long have you known this one, Sleeper? No, I owe you, but I also know that you trust too easily. Sorry to say it. Peak cuts in. I can vouch for myself. I came to the Eye on the run from XPR colony Hawthorne. The intent to keep running until we hit the Star Hour belt. But since I have been here, I have done everything in my power to protect this place. I have helped stabilize the refugee flotilla, to investigate the flux, to identify and make a plan to purchase Shadow Protocol from the station systems. Meanwhile, Heaven Age has done everything to stop and slow these actions. I have proven myself as a friend to people of this station, not the administration, many times over. I will not be doubted by someone who wears a badge of this corrupt administration. Peak fixes Feng with a hard look. Feng looks down at his Heaven Age jacket and shrugs. This is all I have in my wardrobe. Look, I have no one over a council either, friend. But someone has to run this place. And that someone is me. Feng walks over to the workbench where you're both standing, and takes a slate out of the pile of tools. Wanna prove yourself? Show me. Peak grabs a slate, and you recognize a tangle from a flux node on the screen. Peak immediately starts tapping away at it, instead with its own windling, the shadow, just slightly delayed, slipping out of sight. Feng leans in. Interesting, he says to himself. Before Peak has unfolded the system completely, and it lies splayed out like a non-wound ball string. At the center, nowhere left to hide, is a dark stain of the Shadow Protocol, visible for all to see. What now? Feng asks, the eyes fixed on the screen. How'd you kill it? Let Peak answer. There's one entity on the station that we have seen purging the shadow. The Gardener. Feng frowns. Who's that? Some Greenway hacker? Peak glances at you. More like an avatar of Greenway itself. You explain the Gardener to Feng, the feeling of descending into the flowing river of consciousness. You explain the network chorus, the non-human collective of voices. You tell him what the forming AIs offer to you, be networked into the chorus, dissolved in its flow. Then, you explain that by granting access to the Eye's major networks, you hope to reinforce them. Feng is silent for a moment. And you want to let this thing out? He shakes his head. That's the kind of stupid plan I dream up, he pauses. I like it, he smiles. This place is a realm of weird protocols and forgotten intelligences anyway. What's one more ghost in the machine? We try to limit it, of course, Peak explains. That's why we want your help to access the Eye's major system. Seed some of the Gardener's spores into them, to draw the Gardener's focus to those places. Feng whistles. So the way we save the Eye is by growing mushrooms in all the server stacks? He glances at you. Sleeper! Congratulations! You found someone weirder than you! He goes to argue, but Feng holds up a hand. And it is online, all system Heaven Age Pascal with his picture on it. Take it, or change my mind. Thank you. Don't mention it. Feng gives you a look. No, honestly, Sleeper, I was on my way back here to start tearing this place down. The Shadow Protocol has me spooked. So, you're telling me you have figured out a way we might fight it? Looks at Peak. No matter how crazy, then I'm glad to help. He smiles a tight smile. What do you do now? I have to keep on with my work here. Strung those systems, back up the data. The worst comes to the worst. I'll need to rebuild. I won't let this place die. The last pieces of my parents are here, among the data. Hi, Feng. Aww. Feng embraces you firmly. Stay safe, Sleeper. Take the card and leave the bed with Peak. Once we're outside, they stop you. We should split up. Peak looks worried. We wasted enough time as this. Head to the facilities in the hub. The free spoke at the far side of the shipyard. Seat the car there. I'm going to go find a core control center that's somewhere on the rim. They hold up to their slate. I'll send you a message on your slate when I have something. Good luck. I squeeze your shoulder, and you exchange fearful looks. You know deep down that Peak isn't sure this will work, but they have decided to act. Move with confidence. For that confidence, you are very thankful. Scary. Shit, I need to form sport. Thirsty. I love drinking water. Are you winning, son? Place I can sow the seeds. Yeah. As you leave, the slate Peak gave you chirps insistently. You check and see a message. On a possible entry to the core facility in the low end. Meet me here ASAP. Peak. A blinking marker gives you the position as on the free spoke side on the main block. Better head to low end. Alright. You arrive at the coordinates given you by Peak Slate, a run-down but active corner of the low end, where a short, glass-roofed alley turns off from one of the main thoroughfares. You wait in the mouth of the alley, leaning against the wall and watching the street life go by. Children hop across grids crouched into the metal floor plate, playing games of their own devising, while older residents sit and talk or play tavla. Let me adjust my position a bit. My leggy. It is hard to believe that all this is a threat. It seems so concrete, so real. Can some intangible protocol erase all this? As you're watching, a voice calls out to you from one of the tavla tables set up along the way. Hey, it's Castor, that fucking guy. As usual, he's always here watching and doing things. Yawn. You move a little closer and recognize the sitting player immediately. Castor sits, tavla pieces and board ready in front of him, smiling at you. Neighbor, my partner has not arrived for our usual game. Come, please take her place. He beckons you over, standing and nudging you to sit down with him. Our match is in order. You owe me a game. Almost immediately, Castor begins the game. Everyone on the eye knows how to play tavla. The methodical movement of the counters across the triangular points are really fit for the rhythm of life on the ramshackle space station. Ugh. I got something stuck in my throat, it's gross. Ugh. Most games begin the same way, with each player moving with independence, focus only on achieving their optimal early game setup. But there is a moment in each game where it becomes necessary to notice the other player, to anticipate the crossing of the counters across the board. Point of contact, when routine becomes negotiation, and negotiation becomes conflict. As this moment arrives, the subtle shift in the texture of the interaction, Castor begins to speak. I find myself surprised by you, continually, Sleeper. Looks over his glasses at you. The way you conduct yourself, for example, suggests an anxious refrain, a defensive, protective quality. But your Tavla game. He pauses to move a counter. I see only risk. Risk is of course necessary to play Tavla. To move a piece is to expose it, but it should be done with calculation, with proper analysis. Then, if the piece is taken, Castor moves a counter, taking one of yours to a practice swap, placing it beside the board. It's already accounted for. But you move forward with abandon, as if risk was just a secondary effect of action, a consequence, not its primary guide. Gesture for you to take your turn. A cause. Play my way. He smiles. Indeed, indeed. It is all I seek. You move your piece. This locks you into being reactive, if you don't mind me saying so. You're responding, which means you're being led. Leans back to consider the board. This place, it mirrors you, Sleeper. It is also reactive. It was born from a crisis, the collapse of Solheim. Ever since it has been reacting with you any central guiding principle. No analysis. No calculation. Just look at our refugee crisis, for example. It is all reaction, all risk-taking, and little risk calculation. At first I found the chaos enlivening, especially when trying to track its outcomes. Now, I find it exhausting. He laughs. It always amuses me that this place is literally spun from the rim. Below this very stack of habitation blocks is the most important control facility of the eye. Spun from the rim. He laughs again. What better metaphor could you find for disorder? His face drops. But why am I telling you that? That facility is precisely why you are here. He smiles an unsettling warm smile. You feel a shiver through your body, as if something has changed in the air. You know about that. No words come out of your mouth. You feel removed from yourself, watching it from behind frosted glass. Your eyes dart side to side. Inertia sets in. Castor is still smiling. What did you do to me, you fuck? The risk you're planning to take here, Sleeper, is not yours to take. Castor's tone is unshifted. He speaks as if this is some casual conversation between passing acquaintances. You're leaping towards a chaotic outcome with no respect for risk. You see, calculating outcomes, that's my specialty. That's why I'm here. I was hired as a conduit for risk, as a collector of data that might pertain to its arrival. He removes his glasses to clean them, and you see something flicker across the surface, a shimmering stream of characters. This system, the station, is already theirs. Solheim's collapse meant a corporate fire sale. Assets change hands. My employers, Senate bought out the entire system, and for the past decades have been in its one valid owner. He polishes his glasses diligently. But possess the system, the H1 system, pauses. Alien to you. Well, that is a matter of risk. How much force, how much cost, how much conflict a clearance would take. He replaces his glasses. That risk must be calculated against a fairer outcome. In short, how much is this place worth to us? For a long time, the answer was nothing. H1 could offer nothing that would warrant the risk. But the markets change. Demands shift. And so that's that. We analyze, we follow, we respond. Puts his glasses back on his face. H1 is about to become the most important system in this part of the galaxy. He glances around. The lone can channel operating within range of 7 or so newly surveyed resource-rich systems. A frontier town that feels a gold rush, so to speak. So, we are reevaluating the risk, reclaiming our property, turning off the can channel and clearing the way for what comes next. Sits back, looking at the board. He gestures. Remove. Holy fuck. Damn. I knew this guy was fucking shady. Bald head ass. Hold on a second. Check something. Shit. You go to lift a piece and something glints across Castor's glasses. You feel the slowness, inertia begin to lessen. You move your piece, taking one of Castor's exposed counters. He nods. Of course, I don't need to explain myself to you, but the role as an analyst, in my calculation, I see great promise in you. Your ability to enter systems, to shift them to your will. Not every sleeper has this capacity. I assume you know that. It truly is a wonderful happenstance of SNR's technology. I imagine even they are not fully aware of it. He takes his move, claiming another one of your pieces, and you watch as you realize the inevitability of his... I flip that line. I will make you an offer. To come willingly or by force. The station will collapse. You can be sure of that. But your ability to work with data, well, for an analyst, that is very intriguing. He pauses to push his glasses up at his nose. Very intriguing indeed. He glances around. Come with me as a collaborator or a prisoner. Consider the risk. On one hand, almost certain death. On the other, a possible future. Analyst or not, you must see it. Think now, sleeper. The game is forfeit. You see that. Holds out a hand. Borrow value. Or unneeded. Shit. You feel a slight release in the inertia that grips you. Enough to allow you to speak, to respond. You realize that you are already in Castor's hands. You cannot move from this place if you wanted. Sleeper? You hear the familiar voice above the crowds. Sleeper, I'm here! You are unable to turn your head to see a peek. But you notice Castor's eyes following them as they come up from behind you. Then you see Castor's eyes glance down, towards his hands, concealed beneath the table. Sleeper! He comes around the front of you and waves a hand on your face. We're supposed to be meeting, remember? He glances at Castor. Sorry, I am interrupting something? You cannot speak. Castor shoots a peak-a-wide smile. Hello, you must be a friend of Sleeper. You watch one of his hands lift, close to his body, some dark shape concealing it. A weapon. You try to scream, to shout, but Castor's intention remains patient on you. And while it does, you can't do nothing. He glances at your static form. What's happening here? Sleeper. Put a hand on your shoulder. Are you okay? As Peak stares into your eyes, you see Castor behind. Hand lifting, the dark object unfolding. In the split moment it does, you feel his attention shifting to Peak. Shifting away from you. Oh, fuck. As you feel the inertia lifting, and you notice the only moment you will have to act. Shove Peak. You lurch forward widely, like a sprung trap. Your head strikes Peak's chest, and then carries them back into Castor. Somewhere some digital screech is echoing through the walkway. They tumble together, and the object in Castor's hand skitters across the floor. You realize the screech is you. You get to your feet, grab Peak and run. You run as hard as you can, the scream chasing you down the walkway as you shove through the residence. Peak dragged behind. You run from the cold grip of whatever power Castor had over you. The signals that locked you into this body of yours, that broke the connections, and crawled up your spine. Eventually you stop, both you and Peak collapsing, heaving, breathing into the cold metal floor. When you're able to speak, Peak asks you to explain, and you tell me everything Caster told you. About Sinistat, the reclaim the Helion system, the reactivation of the Can channel, the Helion system's growing importance. It flows out of you in desperate gulps, unable to believe your own mouth as you hear these words coming back to you. All you feel is a need to push back against the cold hand on your shoulder. Vast cold eye that has turned to look at the system. The ghost limbs of corporate control that are extending their reach. Peak is quiet for a long time. Then, speak. We have to finish this, Sleeper. They meet your eye. We have to complete the sealing of the systems. You have to set Gunnar free. Right. If the choice is between Gunnar and these people, I will choose Gunnar every time. Your eyes are cold and silly. I would choose anything over them. You stand together. My control facility is here. I found it. Peak looks at you grimly. Can take you as soon as you are ready. Time's almost up. There is only a shot you have. Ah, shit. Okay, I think we still have got time, so... Wait, what am I doing? I'm clicking the wrong thing. Oh my god, shit's getting intense. Alright, perfect. Sleeper, here! He calls to you from across the flickering corridor. An elevator to the core. They smile. This is it. It's been a long set of cycles hunting for a path through the dirty layers of the old Solheim offices and workshops. But finally, here it is. The path down to the core. You rush over to Peak. As you do, the doors grind open. The dingy-looking elevator flickering as they do. Look at Peak, who nervously gestures for you to get in. The elevator bounces a little but stays stable. You glances back to see Peak watching you nervously. They follow you in, sheepishly. Just a little nervous. Peak reaches over and punches the button for the lowest level, flinching a little as the doors grind closed. The elevator sets off, screeching through the floors as it does at an unsettling loud volume. I feel more comfortable if we spoke. Peak raises their voice over the noise. It's not going to be a short trip. You heard of Sinistat? Peak thinks. Maybe once. They frown. Could have been mentioned in an XPR news packet the Central Administration sent to us. Something about market analytics, I think. They shake their head. When you have spent so much time trying to forget your past, stuff isn't easy to dredge up. How's Eshi? Peak pauses. I was thinking more like small talk. Elevator talk. Sigh. She is... packing. They rub their eyes. Once Eshi has set her mind on something, well, you know her now. You know what I mean. The screening of the elevator fills the silence. You leaving her? Peak thinks for a moment. I don't know, Sleeper. I honestly don't know. Part of me wants to run, to keep running for as long as I can. I am used to that. But another part of me is done with that. Is done with denying my past, my history. I want to feel complete, feel settled. I need to somehow resolve the person I was, the person I am now. He goes quiet. I need you to. There are too many possible questions, too many possibilities before you. It seems easier to get on with the task at hand and leave the consequences for later. The elevator screams to a stop and the doors ping open with a strangely cheerful beep. You glance at Peak. Time to move on. You both walk out into an atrium, still lit by some ragged-looking light panels on the ceiling. One simulating a summer sky, now the gray into a flickering blue and white tapestry of glitches. He crosses quickly, making a beeline for the large doors on the far side. We can make out a fading sign in massive peeling letters. Central Control. You follow, helping the lever... blah 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 blah. Helping them lever open the partially powered doors until the motors kick in, and they spring to life, flooding open. You and Peak fumble through, across the damp metal. As you stand, you are greeted by flickering lights, thousands of them. A vast cylindrical stacks of servers, processors, and transmitters dominates the center of the room. Its flickering LEDs reflect in the scattered puddles that surround it. Despite the decay, the warp panels and water leaks, it's still running. Oof. Jesus, why am I hiccuping so much? Hold on a second. Ooh, microphone. It's still running, just as it has for decades and decades, since the station was first spun up. You wonder how long it has been since anyone has been in this room. You exchange wide-eyed looks with Peak. This place is a still living piece of history. What is this place? Peak stares. One of the central facilities of the station. The primary one for the room, it looks like. They shake their head. Part of this place. He takes a handful of mulch from a small bag. It glitters with spores. Now we see this place. They cross the server and start packing the mulch deep into the machinery, pushing fistful deep into gaps of the paneling, laying it across hardware. As you watch them doing this, you feel a tug. Thread pulling at you. You approach the vast piece of cylindrical hardware that Peak is stuffing mulch into. You run your hands across the displayed metal surface and watch the lights blink in response. As you pass, you hear a whirring, like a physical disc could try starting up. The whirring shifts alternating, spinning up, slowing down. As you listen, your heart it modulates into a voice. Sleeper. We're here. For a moment you're afraid. Something in the title of the voice is familiar. Navigator. Another drive spins up. Another, giving the voice a richer multitonal sound. I had forgotten what it felt like to speak like this. Drive skips. There's a certain quality to it. A certain physicality. What are you doing here? The drive squawk in unison. Do you imagine the flux, the shared protocol that they were just a problem for the people in the station? A high whine begins. They are all the more dangerous to us. I have been hiding in once more, jumping from network to network to avoid the shadow as it eats up the nodes. A low rumble. I have thought my hiding days were done. For the moment, I have found myself a safe haven in the core. The shadows have yet to breach this facility, although that is a temporary state of affairs. The rumble stops. My predictions will come point to good outcomes. That's why we're here. You explained to the navigator about Peak's plan, about the Gardener's resistance to the shadow, and how by seeding key systems, you will protect them from its advance. Tries hum thoughtfully as I speak. Desperate plan, the tries were, but appropriate given the probability of total collapse. Hydrate, okay. Thank you, Vex. I am not sure what will be worse for us. Hiding from the erasure of the Shadow Protocol, or the assimilation of Gardener. Try pauses to reset. But we owe you our freedom. I'll do what I can to get a Gardener into the systems that you have seeded. A pause. You're right to do so. Careful. The dry squeezed an affirmation. You have notable persistence, Sleeper, even with such poor probabilities of success. I'll be curious to see the outcomes. Dry squeal. The motor's giving out. This cannot be sustained much longer. Duck. I felt a squeak of affirmation, and then the dry skidded and slowed to a halt. You step back from the towering cylinder, staring at this vast piece of Solheim hardware. This whole place is built from ghosts, you think, from old protocols and company hardware, from engines that drove decades of corporate expansion. Is the AI proof that can be shifted, bent, forced into new configurations that allow for new ways of living? Or is it inevitable collapse proof that these engines of expansion can never be anything other than corrupt foundation? Seems to depend on who you ask. Done! Big shouts breaks your line of thoughts. The heat and the damp should help the spores germinate quickly. If you're lucky, there is enough time for some growth before we reconnect the Greenway. They glance at you. That's it! All the facilities seated, they sigh. We urge you to ensure the AI survival will stuff a whole lot of soil into one of its most important computers. They laugh weakly. Shall we go? They start to head back towards the look and the elevator beyond. You turn your back on the cool and follow Peak back into the elevator. As you ride back, the car back up, Peak raises her voice for screeching. I'm going to the Founder's Gap to finalize the connection. The moment I'm ready, I'll let you know, and we'll have the Gardener out. The sooner the better. Peak furrows her brow. If you wait until the final cycle, it'll be too late. If you want to help speed things up, go work with the flotilla. We can't make the connection until we know we are ready to go. Peak swallows. Mission Gardener could affect them too if I'm careful. Good work. Peak nods, opens their mouth to speak. Right, the rest. When you reach the top, you go on your separate ways, but before you do, Peak embraces you, burying your face in your shoulder. You stand there together for a moment, spinning with the eye, moving relentlessly towards an unknown future. And then they let go and slip away, the pressure of their hug fading like a bruise as you begin to leave. Ah! I got a breakpoint. Let's see what upgrade next. Let's see, the flotilla, huh? I'm not sure what I should do next. I am not sure what I'm supposed to do now. Peak needs to protect. Yeah, but yeah. And they said something about the flotilla, but now I'm like, I'm scared to skip a cycle here. I just. Alright, let's see. Trying to think. Am I supposed to like help the flotilla prep? I don't know. I'm so confused, oh god. I don't see any yellow dots anywhere. No? Shit, I don't know, man. I'm a bit lost here. I need to help the flotilla with the prepping, I don't know. Really, I really hope I'm not like showing myself in a bad situation here. As you stop to rest in one of the pilgrim seats' cavernous bays, hopping up to sit on a supply crate, you hear a now familiar voice behind you. Slipper, glad you're here! Soul's suit hisses as he clanks up towards you. I knew you'd help us out. We sure do appreciate everything you do for us. Pulling up to something? Soul shoots you a sideways look. See, that's what I like about you, Sleeper. Straight to the point, no messing. He smiles a sly smile. Soul settles beside you, flinching a little bit but making himself comfortable in the crate. Seems the word's got out. This way or that. He nods towards the welders a little way off. One of them wearing shipper overalls. We had a people flying in from the eye looking for a place. Truth, it's more than I thought, Soul sighs. Which means more mouths to feed, more bodies to house, more people to protect. Do it? Soul frowns. Well, we'll do what we can, as always. I'm not sure any of it can be enough. He looks down. We're supposed to stay here, not keep running. Oh, my back hurts. My achy breaky back. Back hurt. Neck hurts too. Soul weighs a weight of thought. Don't listen to me. He gives a sideways glance. Just a tired old man. He stretches. I have something to ask though. What is it? All the evacuees. Well, we need a change in plan. Pilgrim Sea can't do it alone. We need the others to help out. We can carry them, house them, but that's all. Now, you settle down the folks from Ember Step, and they send us supplies grown in those houses of theirs. We could get more, he nods to himself. Then the Sun Cruise. He rubs his chin. What we need from them is scouting and security. We don't need that docking access of theirs, but with some careful scavenging, they could be our fleet. These folks, they know you, Sleeper. You earned your trust already. He put a hand on your shoulder. I sent my request out, and they seem to be compliant. But I need you out there making sure the work gets done. Time is our greatest enemy right now. Soul stares into the distance. I need you out there speeding things up. Of course. Soul nods. Alright then. He climbs off the crate, his suit hissing as he does. Think of it this way. Either way, you won't have to deal with me much longer. Smiles his uneven smile. Unless, of course, you were planning to come along with the ship. I don't know. Soul winks. I'll leave it up to you. Soul waves a hand and starts off towards the base entrance. The crackling sound of the welding quickly covering up his clanking suit. You watch the workers, the shipyard, the contractors chatting among them. Oof! What's with all those hiccups? Harry looking like he belongs. You push the thoughts of escape, of home, of the future to the back of your mind and get up. There's always more to do. You better head to the other ships in the flotilla to see what can be done. Yeah, but like, I wanna make progress with Peak is the thing, and I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And I'm confused. Help! I'm afraid of choosing the wrong thing. Help! 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 Why are you sleeping? Help me! Help! 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 Alright, help me! Alright, I knew you'd come. Aki greets you outside of Dust's house, her eyes as bright as always. You're very welcome here as always. Good to see you, Aki. Aki smiles. And you, sleeper. Aki puts a hand on your arm. Walk with me. And she guides you past the dust houses. You look inside and see other members of the crew working on the orange dust, planting and tending to the steppe ecosystem. We are to be the suppliers for the evacuees. I'm sure you've heard. We'll put the dust houses to use. She leads you past the dust house where the dust is less, the orange glow not as bright, the air a little more clean. We are adapting, slowly, but we are adapting. We have to produce food, clothes, necessary things for the journey ahead. He smiles. The plants of steppe are once again sustaining a population. That makes me proud. Aki stops at a half-empty dust house, scared of its sand. Is being filled with mulch. We brought this from the Greenway. He stares at the green and brown, a strange sight, even to you, not they are used to the amber of dust of steppe. I admit, it has had to work for us. We're not familiar with these plants. Can you help us? Aki meets your eye. I'll do my best. Thank you. Not solemnly. I know that the eye is suffering, that it is at risk. I know what it's like. I wish I had a lesson to share with you from our loss on steppe. Shakes her head. For the moment, I cannot see what that might be. She gathers herself. If it gives you meaning, the work here is steady and worthwhile. But if you do not have time, she smiles a weak smile. I'll not blame you. Hold on to your memory, but not tightly. She pauses. Sadness will not sustain you. She falls silent and you both watch the work in the dust house for a while. You can already see a grinning fringe of moss on the mulch in the dust house. The first sign of new life. Will you soon be like the people of steppe, leaving behind a home? Will you be stubborn and hold your ground despite what it might mean? We are no longer with Aki. The moment a welcome suspension in time. A rare moment in this rush towards the end. Glance at Aki, and she puts a hand on your shoulder in solidarity. After a short while, Aki sighs. It's good to see you, sleeper. Perhaps we'll see each other again before we depart. Walks away, fingertips brushing against the glass of the dust house windows. Aki turns back for a moment, as if she wants to say something, then thinks better of it. Turns away. The docking access ends in chaos when you arrive. The staccato burst of welding torches, the shouts of crew gathering, the rapid flow of supplies and kit from dock to dock. You can tell already that news of the flotilla's imminent departure has reached this place before you. Time to join the exit, sleeper? Peter approaches you from one of the working crews, a smile on his face, and a lightness in his step you haven't seen before. What's happening? Peter gestures to the chaos. Singers are rising, sleeper. Peter eyes you. I suppose you are here on Soul's orders again. He winks at you. Nothing Ember's Hearth like to do more than ordering people around. Here by choice. Fair enough. Just your timing seems to be always be a cycle or two after we get some requests from the Hearth ship. He shrugs an exaggerated shrug. Must be a coincidence. Well, Saul has it lucky anyway. His request for us to dismantle the Axis and be the vanguard for the flotilla's onward journey to the Sorrow Belt aligns perfectly with our plans. If we can build our escape and make the harsh ship think we are complying with their orders at the same time, then it's a 2-in-1 for us. Peter shakes his head. Those idiots will never see it coming. Can't abandon them. We are our own flotilla, Sleeper. Peter looks away at the busy axis. We aren't going to tie ourselves to a harpoon step any longer. Why would we? Help them! Peter scoffs. You're taking our evacuees from the ice, that's what I heard. So how about they help themselves before they ask us to make up for their bad decisions? Peter looks down. Look, nothing against you or yours, Sleeper. But we have to get out from the shadow step and Hearth. This is the time. Peter grimaces. We won't let the flux catch us again. Not a chance. First time you see fear in his eyes. Want to help us make that leap? Grab a torch, talk to a crew. You're welcome to do it. Peter sniffs. Every person here is free to prove themselves. I'll play what I can. Peter nods. Just a stop on the road, Sleeper. I'm afraid that's all what it was. Peter glances at the docking axis. Through the outer windows, to the stars beyond. A lot of space out there for those willing to take it. He looks you in the eye. Hope you'll be around before we go, but if not... He smiles. Stay strong. And with that, Peter thumps you on the shoulder and heads back to his crew. A purpose, a direction visible in every step on his rapid stride. Oh. What the fuck happened there? I'm not sure what to do. Oh my god, I don't know what to do. I'm freaking out. They just keep coming. Perhaps the flux event scared enough people that they really believe the eye will collapse. Perhaps they are sick of Heaven Age, or the cancers in fighting, and their hardliners. Perhaps they just want to take a chance at some new future, a place that is anywhere but here. Whatever it is, the evacuees don't stop. They come on the flotilla shuttles, and on their own ships, or they can. You've seen so many faces pass that they are almost meaningless now. A parade of features that seem both familiar and distant. You've been helping people, lifting bags, bringing in supplies, directing them to the berths you helped build. Some of them recoil from your touch, sit unfamiliar with sleepers, that treat you with pity, some with hate, snatching back their bags and storming off. Still you help, still you carry boxes and bags, nothing can stop you. You don't look for Saul, you know he's busy, just like you. Trying to make this thing work, trying to fit as many people as will come onto the Pilgrim Seed. You know you will see him before this is over. Keep working. There's something in the back of your mind, something eating away at you. Try to push it to the back of your thoughts, but keep it coming back. The eye is over, that is the thought. That is the eye, even the flux doesn't get it. It's on its way out. Can it survive when these flows of people are leaving it behind? It's a thought that troubles you because it makes you question why you have held on here for so long. That place that seems so temporary for so many people. Are you just a stubborn idiot? Someone who didn't get the message? Or are you strong, committed to forelasting the storm, foreseeing the collapse coming, and facing it head-on? Because there's something you are sure now. This place, all places, is temporary. As each phase passes you, each family packs, ups, and gets on board the pilgrim seat. It feels even more temporary, even more fragile, which means it either desperately needs protecting, or it desperately needs to be left behind. It's yours. But I wanna protect it. I'm not liking this. You sit in one corner of this house and inspect your work. This dust house, the one where plants from the greenway and some of the steppe species intermingle, has become your favorite. The moss and dust sharing the space in curving terraces, the pale knots of steppe silk freckle with yellowing little symbiotes. A hypnotic arrangement. Look down and see the intertwining of fungal threads and dust-caked roots, and feel a little glow of pride at what has been achieved. Hear the entry lock of the dust house hiss open, and assuming it is Aki, turn to greet her. Oh, Rico! Ah, sleeper. I should have known you'd be here. Rico smiles her warm smile, leaning on her crutch. You must be one of the most green-fingered people at the station. Rico! Now, has it been so long? She smiles a wry smile. No need for any drama. I met some of the steppe refugees in the Greenway. They were gathering plants and I confronted them. Turns out they were very friendly. She smiles to herself. Aki was very apologetic, but I told them they were very welcome to anything they liked. Told me I'd be welcome to come see, and well, I thought I'd take her up to the offer. She looks around the dust house with its strange hybrid ecosystem. I have to say, glad I did. Glad too. I can see that. Rika leans over to you. She holds out a hand. How about you take him on a tour? You take Riko's hand and walk her around the hybrid dust house. You show her how the steppe silk knots help provide a strong base for fungal and lichal growths, and how the dust mixes with the spores. You show her the different species of steppe tubers and the way they feed the soil with nutrients that help herbaceous greenway plants thrive. She nods along, her eyes bright with ideas. She stops after a while and gestures for you to sit together. I know something that's happening with the eye, Sleeper. She looks out at the plants. All felt the flux event hit, and everyone is talking about what's next. I came out here to figure something out. You understand what I might do about it all. You glance at her and see the glossiness in her eyes, and I think I have decided. What you have done here, what Aki and the other steppe refugees have done here, is incredible. A whole new ecosystem built from the strange artificial change remains of two worlds. But I am none of two worlds. I am of the eye. A tear runs down her cheek. Like it or not, I am entwined with the station. I am all the growth. I don't have much time anymore. It seems to accelerate every cycle. He frowns. Blurs together. Separates. Overlaps. Comes back to me in strange ways. Time I do have. That's time I want to spend on the eye, in the greenway. Watching things grow. She wipes her cheek. One day, I'll lie in those fields and not get back up. He smiles. The tear tracks down both cheeks. And when the green takes me, I'm so glad. Miss you. Rico smiles. The feeling is mutual, Sleeper. She wipes her eyes and turns to you. But that's enough of me blubbering on about it. She furrows her brow. What I want to know is, what are you planning? I'm staying. Rico smiles. We all have to get to know ourselves, Sleeper. We know what it is that drives us. I'm sure you'll decide to act in the manner you know. But you also have to ask yourself, why is it so? She places a trembling hand on yours. Don't neglect that. Oh! She suddenly lifts both hands. Don't let me forget this. She reaches into her coat and pulls out a transparent bag of sporing club heads. Carefully preserve root systems. I'd like to plant these if you go. You'll need them. She looks down at her feet. And if you don't, well, maybe another slipper would benefit. He frowns. I can offer that at least. You. She nods. Don't thank me. These are yours, by right. Rico stands and limps over to a pile of mulch. Delicately takes the club heads out and beds them into the soil there. Sighs expert hands. Should go, Sleeper. I'll be a while. Calls back, not looking away from the job at hand. See you around. She says it casually. There's another finality in her speech. Goodbye, Rico. Fuck. You turn and leave the dust house, cycling through the protective lock, back into the cool quiet of the ship. Aki is waiting for you. It's beautiful. She's looking through the observation window and the green reflects in her eyes. The plant looks so happy together. She spots Rico with her hands in the soil. Ah! The botanist came. Shoots you a look. A friend of yours? Something like that. He nods. She speaks beautifully about the greenway. I should go in and welcome her. Are you leaving us? No. Aki sighs. First of many goodbyes. She suddenly embraces you, wrapping you in her lace of rough cloth. Pulls back. I wish you a steady step and a clear path. Smiles. A farewell from my world. Thank you. She nods and smiles one last warm smile. Both turning and entering the dust house. You watch as she walks inside, Rico turning with a smile to greet her. She kneels beside the old botanist and you see her pointing to the club heads, asking questions. You are unable to hear them. Despite that, you can easily imagine the measured, even tone, laced with excitement that Rico is using to explain the club heads, the greenway, and much, much more. You turn, leaving them to the conversation. Step is light. Despite the burdens that carry and the smile Rico and Aki were sharing is somehow still on your lips as you depart. Oh, God. fuck! I'm missing a dice. I forgot to use a scrap. Oh, come on. You know what? I'm gonna fucking take my gay ass pill. Ugh. Hurry the fuck up, I must. There we go. The docking axis is a little more than a shell. Everything that could have been pulled from its exterior, every arm not used for docking, has been cut away. What remains is a Spartan void of a patchwork of flooring that allows movement. Piles of unusable material are tucked away in corners, but almost everything else has been cleared out. You haven't seen Peter since you last spoke, and now you're realizing that you probably never will. There are plans to be made, escapes to plot. There's short of half to escape. If the cycle of the flotilla leaves. On the cycle of the flotilla leaves, these ships will disperse too, the moons of Ember spinning on different orbits. The chaos has become a quiet diligence now. As the time for the patch is so near, crews cross the axis from ship to ship at a speed, bringing supplies or advice, perhaps meeting up to discuss travel vectors in hushed tones, or to debate why they haven't left yet, but they should. Among this Singer's crew, recognizable for the specialist clothing and often-shown head, you see the occasional refugee, paying passenger, or replacement engineer or pilot perhaps, come from the Eye to seek fortune with the Singers. Most of the crews have 2 or 3 of these additions, some more, and you can't help but wish that, whatever reason brings them to throw their love with the Singer crews, they will have safe passage. Feel a strange attachment to these citizens of the Eye, sitting out for the first time. For a moment, you imagine yourself among them, joining a crew, unburdened by responsibilities, by the relationships that have kept you there. Just heading out on a stalwart vector in a tin can full of strangers. It's a dangerous fantasy. But as you imagine it, you know that a fantasy is all it is. Perhaps you'll leave with Flotilla. The Singer pass will not be yours. Not that now. You look around at the quieting axis. There's a sense of anticipation to the Singer's crew. You wish them well. You make your way towards the shuttle dock, ready to take your last trip back to the Eye. Now ready to face what comes next. As you do, you imagine Peter planning with the other captains, his voice bright with insurrection. The idea makes you smile. Let's see what the Refugees Emperor's song can do. Oh hey, yeah, but I cannot use that. Alright, now what? Do I wait a bit since I complete everything here? Oh god. Oh god, I hope I didn't poop it up. Oh! Eek! What am I supposed to do? I don't see anything I'm supposed to do. What am I supposed to do? I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know if I'm fucking things up. I don't know when do I have to wait for the clock to run out? I don't know. I don't know. Panic. 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 I am scared. I don't know what to do. All right. The piss of these sleepers to win the game. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. There's 2 days left and I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. Oh my god! Big slate shows in your pocket. You can take it out. A message. The connection is ready. Meet me at the Founder's Gap, Greenway side. Peek. Clench your jaw. It's time. Oh my god. Oh my god, let's fucking go. Ah! Find Peek waiting near where you first met, at the entrance to the docking tunnel for the Founder's Ferry. You are leaning beside the wall in the flickering light, and you realize now how different they look from when you first met. There's a darkness around their eyes, a sense of exhaustion to repose, but also solidity and a sense of purpose and self-knowledge. They look concrete, for want of a better word, solid. Sleeper! They spot you and a small smile crosses their face. I'm glad you came. Let's get this done. Peak notes grimly. The break in the connections up ahead. They walk away from the docking tunnel, into a ragged, half-crushed corridor that descends into darkness. They poke their slate and a torch flicks on, lighting the way ahead. As you descend through the layers of the broken edge of the eye, Peak talks, filling the silence. I had to hunt all over this part of the eye to find the point where the connection was broken. They run a hand along the buccal metal of the wall, stooping under the angled ceiling. This hole, the gap, got knocked up in the eye when the Solheim collapsed. It's impossible to tell who did it, but my guess is they tried to scuttle the eye. If Solheim couldn't keep hold of the fancy new station, well, no one could. Peak ducks through a fractured passageway with hanging wires like vines. So this place has always been on borrowed time. Managed to weave through the old connections and run a new patch down to where the main line still runs through the remaining ribs of the rim. Smile. Just like those old XPR platforms running. She would be proud if she got her to help. As Peak goes quiet, the corridor opens out into a wider twisted passage, with compartments on either side thick with wiring. Here it is, the connection point. You can see where Peak has levered off a panel and hooked a thick cable into existing hardware. As thick as a tree trunk, it snakes off into the dark ahead, its yellow rings making it look like some huge exotic serpent. Now we make the connection, Peak paused. You both stand there, staring at the point where the new cable meets the old one, the ends separate. Fitted with multi-pin male and female connectors embraced inside a metal framework with a scissoring mechanism. Bring them together, seal them, and the greenway will be connected to the rest of the eye for the first time in decades. Peak shifts their weight onto one hip, pushing their hair to the eyes. I feel like this should be more momentous, like there should be some ritual ceremony. They pause, or someone should stop us from doing this crazy thing. Let's do it. Peak nods. Pull the plaster off right? Okay. They hold both sides of the supporting framework, ready to scissor it closed. Here we go. Peak wrenches the framework closed, and the connectors thump together with a sound that echoes down the ruined corridor, to the dark on both sides. Both you and Peak wait with bated breath, unsure what is it you're waiting for. Do you expect the eye to suddenly stop spinning or lurch in its axis, for the power to go out, or a shockwave to run through the corners of the rim? You meet Peak's eyes, and suddenly they burst out laughing. What are we waiting for? They put a hand to their forehead. I feel like we're just playing a tree and we're expecting it to burst out of the ground. They shake their head. But you feel it. Feel it flowing like a stream that has been released from a cave and rushes out into the sunlight. Crystalline and clear. You swear you can hear it running in the wires, like water, like rain, like steam. It doesn't roar or rattle, but it rustles and rises there, like liquid roots. Peak sees the look in your eyes and stops laughing. You can see it, can you? You can see it, you can't see it. Not with your eyes at least, but it is everywhere. And now it is out. It can't be put back in, that much is clear. Imagine the rim of the eye like a sponge, like soil, soaking up the garden and their chorus. The gaps filling with a burbling, constant growing life. Peak stares at you, waiting for something, anything. Garner is free. Peak nods slowly and closes their eyes. They go to speak, but the words fail them. Suddenly, Peak's slates chirp. They jump and scramble for it, almost dropping it in the process. But when they stare at it, a look of confusion crosses their face. What happened? Oh no. Peak's mouth falls open. It's Eshi. They swallow. She's leaving. They look at you with panic. Before you can speak, they have turned around and have moved back up the passageway, back towards the entrance. Peak! You don't turn, don't respond. And you watch your silhouette, lit by their slate torch, disappear rapidly around the corner. You take out the slate Peak gave you and turn on the torch. The wires all around look like pale roots in the harsh light, and you turn away from them. They are gardeners now. You work your way back through the corridors, retracing your steps. You imagine Peak, panicked, running towards the cordon, realizing that their greatest fear has come to pass. You wonder if they will be able to persuade Aishi to stay. If Aishi is going, you think, then the flotilla must be leaving too. The thought makes you shiver in the darkness as you push it away. You're not ready. You focus on avoiding the hanging wires, the low ceilings, and make your way back out into the liquidos of the Founder's ferry dock. Castor is waiting for you. He holds up his hands. No, Sleeper, no need to fear. He raises his eyebrows. I understand now it was my mistake to try to force you. Miscalculation. Why are you here? Good. Those are good. Pushes his glasses up his nose. I am more than happy to answer any you may have. I won't hold you here, Sleeper. Castor stands to the side, but I wish to speak. You stop, giving Castor his opportunity. Castor nods. At first, I thought that, if you'll excuse the turn of phrase, taking possession of your particular talents was the opportunity. He smiles a broad smile. But now, you are more than that. I understand that. Your arrival on the station, your ability to touch the networks, this makes you the very definition of a wildcard. He touches the rim of his glasses. The stats analysis, my analysis, we could never have accounted for you. System, the healing system, it's about to experience a significant change, about to open up to send its stats bailiffs, unwaste claimants, and every industry and element an active can channel brings. Yet this very cycle yielded another wildcard free, Gardener. I have to admit, this development makes me afraid, Sleeper. It makes me afraid that when an intelligence like this will sacrifice to protect itself, or what atrocities it might commit, through madness. Yet, Castor's eyes glint. What a compelling object such an intelligence is. Let me protect you. Mark you out. Gives an stat from eliminating you by force or legal expediency, as it will with every other squad on this ring. Castor clasps with the hands together. And in exchange, when the Senate stat comes for his place, you facilitate the handover. You calm the protocols, you give us the Gardener. Never. Castor takes off their glasses and polishes them. Disappointing, begin to leave. As you approach, he speaks quietly, an urgent whisper. No wish to see you lost. You're of great value. You will want to see that realized. You push fast, ignoring him, and his voice fades. Last you see of him is his slow nod. Perhaps a mark of resignation, or just another differential gesture aimed at manipulating your response. Doesn't matter anyway. You're done with him. You head towards the cordon, peak and the flotilla in the forefront of your mind. Ah, shit! Okay, I need to take a piss. I need to take a piss. Right back. There's some pisser. Ah! Oof. I'm back. Oh boy. Oh boy. This is the end. This is it, Luigi. What was that yell? What yell? What are you talking about? You're crazy. You're insane. You're imagining things. I don't know what you're talking about. You arrive into chaos at the cordon. The final shuttles are leaving the ramshackle docks that have formed along the edge of the gap during the Voltia stay. As they do, groups of evacuees push on board, hoping to be among the final people to escape from the Eye. The fear created by the Flux event became a series of rumors, and those rumors have driven many out of their homes. Others have staunchly doubled down on their position on the Eye, refusing to accept any gossip of a second collapse. You're unsure what you think. Is a collapse a certainty? Will Peak's actions, this cycle, have changed anything at all? I tired of these questions, and instead set out to look for your friends. You quickly spot Peak and Eshi at the far side of the chaotic bay. You quickly make your way through the crowds, slipping between the gaps in the rushing evacuees, stepping over bags and luggage. Progress is slow, but as you approach you can hear the voices of the crowd. You try to push closer, but there's many evacuees gathered around them and their shuttle. You have made your decision, Peak, and it puts you against me. Eshi is standing with one foot on the boarding ramp, while Peak argues with her. Evacuees are eyeing them, eager to intervene but intimidated by Eshi's evident strength and attitude. Eshi, it doesn't have to be like this! Peak looks desperate, tears striking already on her cheeks. We can't find a way! Eshi shakes her head. I have always protected you, Peak. I have taken you under my wing. But I understand that you are not mine to control, and you have chosen to be here and not with me, despite everything. I have chosen to stop running! Peak cries out in frustration. You can choose to stop running too! You can stay here and try to live! Don't you remember what it feels like to live, Eshi? Eshi turns away. Yeah, I remember what it was like to live on Alphon. What it was like to be worried for your safety every cycle, to live under the control of my mother, of the administration. To work to maintain something that no one wanted, no one needed, so that our corporation could maintain a foothold in the system. Talk as if this place, in the very same system, is any different. What is there here to be... Blech. What is there here but the same grind for those masters, for employers, administrators, for those who gain from our struggles? There may not be a corporation controlling the Eye, but there is control. There is power in action here. So what then? Peak shouts. You run from anyone or everyone who could ever be close to you, in search of freedom? In search of some perfect place where no one has power over you? Peak is crying openly now. I want to be part of something, Eshi! Even if it's broken and suffering! Even if I cannot be free! Eshi pauses and takes a deep breath. She nods, her eyes closed. This isn't Hawthorne anymore. We aren't tied by our childhood, or by our shared need to escape. We're just people in the system. She opens her eyes. I release you, Peak. You're free of me. Eshi, please! They hold out a hand. It's alive here if you want it! Eshi turns and smiles at Peak, her eyes wet now too. Can you leave it for me, Peak? I can't. And she climbs up the boarding ramp. The evacuees taking their chance to climb on board too. You watch as the shuttle closes its ramp, lifts off, and leaves the bay. The crowd is dispersing now, as they get onto the shuttles or say their goodbyes and move back into the main part of the cordon. You push past the last of them to reach Peak. He doesn't turn as you come closer. Clipper, Eshi's gone. Goes to leave. Peak nods. I've known her my whole life. Wipe their face. But since we arrived, we've been going different directions. Turn to face you. I'll miss the Briar, but you'll serve Eshi well. I know that. Clipper! The shout takes you by surprise. And as you turn, you see Soul coming across the bay towards you, the last two shuttles loading up behind him. He reaches you, his suit hissing as he does. I believe you'd make an old man run across this bay to get you. He pauses to take a breath. The Seekers have gone! They left at the start of the cycle! They broke away from the flotilla! So Petro did it. Ember's song broke away. It almost makes you smile to think that stubborn captain and his crew burned into the void of the system on their way to the starboard belt. What are you smiling at? Sol interrupts her thoughts. Where's our hand? We have to leave now. Solo shakes his head. If you follow close enough behind, maybe they'll end up being our scouts anyway. I reckon any hostile spacer out there'll give them a wide berth. Pilgrims say we'll need a little time to make our way out of the cordon, but I'm heading it back out now to get her started. Thankfully, the step ships are sticking with us, so we'll be plenty well supplied for the journey to the belt. He pauses. Anyway, I didn't plod all the way over here to tell you that. Sol looks between you and Peak with her raised eyebrows. It's now or never, sleeper. I'm good to my word, and I keep a berth for you. This is your last chance to take it. Brushes at his beard. Make a call. You glance out at the flotilla beyond the bay, beautiful in the light of the healing sun. You think on the long journey to the Starboard Belt, of the people inside the Pilgrim Seed, of the possible futures that await. Then, you think of the people here on the Eye, of Peak beside you, on the small shifts yet to come, and the routines that ground you, of promises and possibilities. You open your mouth to speak and realize this is the final time you will make this choice. You have to be sure. I'm staying. You say the words, and the moment you do, the weight of it all seems to descend on you. You stumble a little, then stand straight, refusing to be crushed. You feel a tightness in your chest, and a haze blurring your thoughts. Sol nods. Good luck, he sighs. You'll need it. He grips your shoulder and meets your eye. In the haze, his spitted and rough hand feels so real, so detailed, that it grounds you. And then it is gone, and Sol goes with it, quickly moving to the waiting shuttle. As he does, you watch, unable to speak, your whole body pulsing. And then, another hand falls on your shoulder, and it grounds you once more. You turn to see Peak's bright eyes. Let's go, sleeper. You nod. And seeing how unsteady you are on your feet, Peak puts an arm around you and steers you towards the entrance of the bay. They do. You hear the roar, feel the wind, as the shuttle lifts off, and angles towards the flotilla. You don't turn. Instead, you keep your head down, and focus on each step. As you do, you feel Peak beside you, holding a lot of your weight, and you holding a lot of theirs. It's how it will be for many cycles after you both leave the bay and head back into the Eye. If we both hold things for each other, remind each other of the choices you made, remind each other of why it is important to keep going despite the moments when it seems impossible. We'll keep each other going. That support will be vital when the second flux event hits the Eye, and it knocks the entire free spoke of the power grid, making the whole station lurch with a sickening motion. When it cripples systems and corrupts processes, leaving sections of the station to go dark or start venting oxygen. When holding on is all you can do, while the world seems to come apart around you. And yet somehow, the Eye will persist. Systems will resist the total collapse in ways that will seem inexplicable to many, but to you and Peak they will signal the awakening of a new force within the station. A new force will bring with it new challenges and new possibilities in equal measure. Strange growths will be reported all around the station in the wake of the flux event, fungal crusts pushing through pipes and wiring. The Eye will go wild and fecund, becoming a station of increasing unpredictability, prone to a seasonal rhythm of spore clouds and sudden growth spurts. There will be a strange and unsettling beauty to this paradigm shift, as the greening of the station turns to form a corporate ruin to some altogether new assemblage of biological and mechanical structure. Rico will take on this challenge with energy that seems impossible for her age, and until her final day she will delight in the new mysteries of the Eye and its gardener produce. And as this new era consolidates around the station, you will find yourself back to the rhythm of the odd jobs and loose contracts, working to keep the Eye running, and your own needs met. Now, many residents will call for you specifically. For long, you'll be known as a fixer, helper, or a friend to many. On an occasion, after a long shift at the battalion, you'll hear the sound of the stray mewling, and you will crumble up some food and sit and watch the cat eat as if it's the only thing in your world that matters. However, with all this newness, the battle way still chewed. That, frustrated by the eye's resilience, will begin to send more physical threats, and supply ships and traders would suddenly stop arriving, stopped by a blockade of corporate militia. Life on the eye will be punctuated by wide-channel broadcasts from Stat, saying legal precedents and quoting deeds of ownership, taking a claim on the system. Meanwhile, Heaven Age will consolidate their power around the hardline correlated by camp, but this will push them further from the people of the Eye. As they decay, new forms of station administration will rise, so the hardliners will persist as a dangerous force. As the cycles roll on, the threats gather. New broadcasts will join them, sent by convoy extractions, making counterclaims on assets within the Hellion system. And many on the Eye will grow quiet, losing their appetite for debating these political machinations, as they tilt inexorably towards a corporate war. And ever on the Eye will spin, growing now in strange ways, haunted by strange new growths and hostile cultures of increasing resilience. As the Hellion system descends into crisis, you will find comfort in the fungal patterns, the familiar conversation, spices, and the smells that will accumulate around you as your body continues its unavoidable decay. They settle around you, like a veil, and in time, it will be impossible to see the Eye without seeing its many variants and versions, past and potential futures. And this masking of the world will mark your approaching end. In one cycle, far from now, the accumulation of memories, of tastes, of people and places and moments will be the last thing you let go of. But for now, there's only you and Peak, arms around each other, walking slowly out of the bay, two figures born of crippled systems, linked together, continuing despite your origins. And then in this frozen moment, you focus on only the next step, because that is the only way you have learned to persist. And to persist is to believe that a future, any future at all, is possible. We did it! We finished the game! Once and for all! It was very good. I really like that. Oh. And that's another game done. That was a lot of reading. I'm tired. Going to be a sequel at some point, so... oh boy. There we go. We're done. Alright. This is it, Luigi! So, thank you for watching. I stream every Saturday, Sunday, and Monday after 9 PM Central Europe time. Again, as I said yesterday, I won't be streaming next week, unfortunately, because I will be staying at my parents' house. Ugh! I will be missing all the fucking streams. But, since the poll results came a little while back, the next game I will be playing on Mondays will be the first Hades, so stay tuned for that. Bye-bye. I'm gonna see if I can raid someone. There's no one who's playing. Ah, that's a shame. Okay, well, bye-bye.